Welcome to Ageless, an interview show. As we travel through life, each of us has a story to tell, so therefore we have an ageless legacy. Our show will focus and reflect on the stories from men and women who have reached the mature age of 50 plus in life and wish to share their journey from then till now.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Ageless, where our guests show us that being over 50 can be the sunny side of life. My name is Karen Hefner, I'm your host, and our guest today is Donna Cohen. Donna is the Executive Director for the Holocaust and Human Rights Education Center. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you for having me.
I met you about a month ago, I guess, and I was fascinated by how joyful a person you are, considering what it is you do.
Thank you.
Maybe we can talk a little bit about your journey of how you got to where you are now.
Well, really, when I met you, and it was in this artist seminar, and when people ask, what did you do? I always stop a room when I say, well, I'm a Holocaust and human rights activist.
Right.
And people are immediately taken aback, which I can totally understand. But for me and the people that I work with and the people who are involved with us, we truly have made it a joyful journey for all that are involved with it. And it really started when I was a little girl. I was one of those children who woke up happy every day. And I just was blessed with this amazing imagination. And when you have that, you think everybody has it.
It's true.
Okay?
It's true.
So this is 1963. And I came from a family where I was sent to Hebrew school at a very young age, 5 years old. And I was fascinated about religious school because as a joyful child and optimistic, I loved the teachings of God. I was fascinated about that standard, about all this mysticism and all these miracles. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I want to work for that man. This is cool. And realizing that I came from a world where it was, at that time in the early 60s, it was Orthodox conservative. Women really did not have a role. So, and also learning about all the great prophets, they never really spoke about the women.
Right, right.
So I was sort of like, questioning that. And then I was also fascinated, you'll get a kick out of this, about, all right, if you want to work for God, where do you sign up? Is there a prophet school? You know, how do you do this? And no, he's never come and spoke to me personally. I can honestly say I volunteered. So trying to figure this out, this was a pivotal moment in my life in 1963. This was right after the Eichmann trial. My parents went to hear a talk about, at their local synagogue about the Eichmann trial. And for your listeners who don't know who Adolf Eichmann was, he really was the mastermind of the final solution. He was that famous story where Simon Wiesenthal, the famous Nazi hunter, went and with the help of the Israeli government brought him back to Israel where he stood trial, and that was the first time the world had really had a Holocaust lesson, because up to that point people who survived the Holocaust could never talk about it because it was so unbelievable. Right. So I remember questioning my parents, and I was very taken by it. And then the next day when they came back, they wouldn't talk to me about it. The silence.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like a wall. And then about 2 months later, we had a bookcase in our basement. And I found this book hidden away, literally hidden away. And I remember taking it out, and that's the era of when books and library were like temples to us. This is the early 60s.
Yes, right.
And I remember opening up the book. And interesting, the page that I opened up, we're talking about opening up pages of book, was this little boy with his hands up in the air. And he was surrounded by, you know, obviously older men and innocent women with soldiers pointing guns. Now, the first thing, I was 9, he was 6. And I remember looking in this boy's eyes and saying, oh, that could have been me. So my empathetic gene kicked off. But more importantly than that, I was fascinated. What did these people do? What was their crime?